I want to give all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rakakadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles and the bishops that I learned this truth from. Labor night and day. To all the apostles, to all the bishops, to all the elders, this in Great Millstone, GMS. To all the aqua that listen in silence. To all the remnant that listening. To all the remnant that's out there. The hopeful elect, the 1/3. Shalom. See, what people don't understand about this fall of Babylon the Great, man, that it has to happen, man. And it's very hard to be out here in this world knowing that this world can make you very upset, man. It can make you really have a lot of thoughts. And I'm hoping that all this stuff with the Strait of Hormuz keeps picking up, because I'm tired of this stuff taking too long, man, because it is taking too long. It's taking way too long. These people need to go ahead and do what they got to do so they can go ahead and implement this mark of the beast. Because now the word is getting out and everybody's talking about this mark of the beast now. You see it all on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, Instagram, all this stuff. It's getting out. And this thing needs to happen. And these things need to come quickly, man. And see, for those that don't understand, that when we say we are fishers of men, we are fishers of men. We're looking for the hopeful elect. But those hopeful elect will be hunters. It's only right that they will be the hunters. Because it says in a twinkle of an eye, we will change for those that are of the hopeful elect. And we want justice to prevail. I remember going to the gun shop years ago, and this dude, all he kept talking about was that he wanted to go over to Iraq. He said that he signed his papers, and he's saying how he can't wait to kill Iraqis and all this stuff. And people in Afghanistan, that's all he kept saying. He said, I can't wait. He said, I go to boot camp in a few months. And he says, I can't wait. And I said to him, why? He says, man, because I get to pay back the people that did wrong to this country. And even back then, I knew his thinking was warped out of his mind. Because I'm thinking, this country was never yours. But you already know what type of persuasion he was. They always think everything is theirs. They always think that they own everything. They always think they have a reason. But the one thing that pisses me off more than everything is that you're always going to have a few people that believe the same thing that they believe. And those people don't even love them. Don't even care about them. And they would rather go out there and act like them, walk like them, talk like them, and will even betray you like them. This shows you the type of people that are out here in this world, and the people that are brainwashed. They have no problem being brainwashed. They like it. It's just like when you tell a dumb, goofy-ass girl some bullshit. She likes the shit. And someone might say, well, who's the one telling her that dumb, goofy-ass shit? She know who that person is. She know who they are. They like being lied to. Because it feels good. Just like it feels good that we think these people care about us. And they don't care about us. They don't give a shit about us. You got these people out here that want to be in the military, the armed forces, and they don't give a fuck about them. Especially if you are African American. They don't give a fuck about you. Went to this guy page today on YouTube and was saying how these people kept calling him the N-word. And he's fighting for this country. And he's being called the N-word. And then you want to sit up here and think it's sweet to say you're a Navy SEAL, you're a Marine. That is an embarrassment. To say some bullshit like that. You basically saying I got fucked over and brainwashed. You could be taking that talent and be using it to help your people. But you would rather talk down on your own people and hurt your own people. These are going to be the type of people that we are going to have to weed out. You see, this is why things are going to play out in the way that's going to play out. Yeah. See, because people are getting tired of Edom, man. But see, Edom is going to try to use that last little trick. The Edom wants to make themselves kind of look weak, though. So when they pull this shit off, they're going to say it's not them. See, and that's what these Edomites like to do. They always want to hide. They don't want no one to see them for who they are. And people think that we're wrong because we're saying that they can't inherit the kingdom. This is what the Heavenly Father said. And see, when you look at these Muslims, they don't believe Edom should have to pay for their sins. Farrakhan would do all this talking, saying what they doing, and that they should just be destroyed. That they should not have to suffer the shit that they did. Sometimes you just can't kill someone. Some people want to seek for the death penalty, but why? Why do you want to give them the death penalty? Why? That's too easy. They didn't give us the death penalty. They worked Israel down to the bone. They made Israel work. Constantly. They constantly made Israel work. Constantly. And now I'm seeing more and more homeless people. And where I reside at, I see most of them to be Caucasians. They should be flourishing in this world. living and loving life. As Paul Mooney would talk about, but see, now the judgment is upon them. But you still have our kind that cry for them, that will protect them. And that's very sad. They would still cry and weep for them. So, if you are of the remnant that might look like these other nations, you should have nothing to worry about. Because, see, you only look like these nations. But that doesn't make you be a part of them. Just over someone might look like someone or look like another nation, that doesn't mean they're of that nation. You have to look at how they carry themselves in the spirit. You cannot pray for them. You cannot cry for them. You cannot have that old Rodney King speech, why can't we all get along? Because if we was meant to get along, we would have got along by now. They don't want to get along. They can't get along. And see, the reason why things have to go down how it has to go down is because we have too many people that sympathize with them. We have too many women that love their kingdom that would turn you in like Judas. And they have no problem doing that. And a lot of these women have put you on child support, give false statements, call the police on you. Just imagine in that day. Imagine in that day. You got two types of people that listen to this channel. Well, really three types. You got the government. You got those that are of the hopeful elect. And you got those that are just racist. It's only going to be those three. The hopeful elect understand. And the government are watching and listening. And then you got the racists. That's just how it is. There's no way you could change it. Y'all have a good day. Yeah. So we got kids out here selling ice cream. And you know what type of kids those are. And it's sad to see that a few years ago, I'd be like, hey, let me help out those type of kids. Let me help out Jimmy and Karen with their lemonade stand. Any time that we try to have a lemonade stand or sell ice cream or something, they always got to call the police and they always got to wonder if we got a permit. But see, what's going to happen in that day is that their kids are going to have to suffer for their forefathers' sins. And a lot of these 2/3 kids are going to have to suffer for their forefathers' sins as well. They're going to have to suffer. Because, see, they didn't want to hearken to the words of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rakakadash. They sit up here and they think everything is a joke. And when I look at these people, man, see where I live at, They all around me. If we said we wanted to pay back for what they did to us, they would easily say, we are wrong for having those type of feelings and thinkings. They would easily say that we're wrong for feeling that way. We should just let it go. But those that are in Israel get paid all the time for their sins. And they ain't let it go. They never let it go. I can imagine the days, just like Planet of the Apes, you know. I could just imagine that day, man, when they all gathered up and everything that they done to us will be done unto them. When their kids will be gathered and their kids will be taken away. Then they would know they're in a world full of shit. And they would say, well, you're a terrorist. How are you a terrorist when the only thing you're saying is what the Bible's going to do to them? The Bible talks about justice. How those that were wrong will have vengeance from the Heavenly Father. They want to take you up in court and say, oh, well, you talking about this and that. This is why they took the Bible from the courthouses. Because if they truly show that they uphold the Bible, then that means they uphold everything that's in it. That's why they had a slave Bible. That's why the movie The Birth of a Nation was different from Birth of a Nation. Two different movies, two different stories. But just imagine when they all gathered up and the heathens, and if there are any 2/3 left up, they'll be gathered up as well. If they are, then we will have to do what we have to do, and that's pass judgment. And they're going to be saying, we didn't do it. We didn't do it. That was our forefathers. What about Adam and Eve? I wasn't around during that time. But this is how the Heavenly Father set it up. This is how you have to learn. And a lot of you 2/3 out there messing with the 1/3, you're going to have to suffer the consequences, man. You're going to have to suffer it. And I can only imagine on that day. Because I have thoughts that run through my mind. And I just see Jill being stripped away from her husband. Just like some of these slaves were stripped away from their wives. And they took their wives right there in front of the men. They said, this is my wife now. And that man sometimes was forced to sit there and watch and to hold his eyelids open. That's how it's going to be on that day when it's for them. You can't tell me that I'm making this shit up. Jill is going to have to take it. And Tom is going to see Jill being taken. And his eyelids are going to force to be open when it happens. And then she's going to be forced to see him working in the field. And you will see their male sons working in the field. And the wife will have to make a decision. Either you do this, or you will be out there too. And we know how women are. They're weak. She's going to submit. She's going to have no choice but submit. Just like how our women had no choice but to submit. She's going to submit. And then the whole world will realize that what's happening is not because some people just took over it, because it was prophesied. We're not just going to sit up there and judge and not use scriptures just because we have power. No. It doesn't work that way. Everything we do will be shown by scriptures. That way they can see without a shadow of a doubt that this was ordained, that this had to happen. And then they would know, like, fuck, this is true. And the women would know. And the women would know their women will be begging to have kids by the 144,000 hope for elect. They'll be begging because they don't want their offspring to go into that. Just like it was breeding camps during the slavery, there will be breeding camps during their time. There will be breeding camps. Their women will see how it feels to cry, to have the baby that they born for 9 months and snatched away from them. I didn't want it this way, but this is the way that the Heavenly Father wants. And someone will say, well, you're not reading it right. I am reading it right. I was just never shown to read it. And see, that's the difference. They hide those scriptures. Only reading certain scriptures to keep you in check. No one wants to read the scriptures of the truth. And this is why this stuff must take place. And it will take place in the kingdom of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. I long for that day. I pray for that day. A lot of our houses have got turned upside down from our children to our wives. And they say, well, if you're so strong, how come you don't just take the kingdom? To be honest, if we was to take the kingdom by force, it couldn't be done. For the simple fact, we don't have enough strong men. And to be honest, you don't need a lot of strong men. You only need men that believe in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. But these other men that's out there are weak men. They look forward to making their mockery videos. They look forward to see how many views and likes they clicked on it. They look forward to see the comments. But see, what they're not going to look forward to is when everything that they said wasn't true comes true. Imagine their faces of the women and the men that scoffed. Imagine those other camps that we tried to plead with and tell what's going on. They didn't want to listen. For all those that were stuck in those churches, it's not going to be good when Jill has to tell Tom to look away And Tom's going to see it. And then he's going to look away. Tom's going to know at that moment that this has to happen. Because first of all, if Tom was of the anointed, Tom would have stuck up. And Tom would have been a 1/3. And Tom would have been of the 144,000 hopeful elect. But Tom wasn't, because Tom's spirit wasn't, nor was his DNA, his bloodline. And Tom is going to have to work beside Timothy and Paul in the field. First off, starting up, getting rid of the dead bodies, so the stench will be out of the air. And then building the houses. And then their home would be the pit. They won't even get to lay with the farm animals. We'll dig a 50-inch pit and stick them down there. And then we'll take the ladder out when it's time for them to work. And they say everything what you're saying, it sounds crazy. It won't happen. But every day, you love watching people go to jail for crimes that they commit. But you shouldn't go to jail for the crime that you commit. But see, that's the thinking of a prideful man. A prideful man who have beaten down all nations. A prideful man that runs the country that I live in. A proud man that runs other countries that I do not live in. These prideful men will be taken down to nothing. And they will see what it feels like of the people that were forever being enslaved. They will feel that. They will see that. They will know that. Because it isn't right that you had a chance to make stuff right, but you didn't want to. And imagine you making everything right when the children of Israel was blinded. They would have been accepted, would have been open arms. You know how Jake is just, all they want you to show you is that you care about them. But now that Jake's eyes is open because of grief and pain, now it's nothing you could do. And you 2/3 are going to get it. You 2/3 that don't believe in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. You 2/3 that uphold freedom of speech. You 2/3 say, well, everybody has a right to believe in whatever they want to believe in. You 2/3 that do that are going to get it. You 2/3. Hope that this lesson was edifying. Shalom.